All right, now that we have a profile image and we've already gathered and collected profile data for a persona, we need to create the email accounts. This is really going to be the start of the account creation for all the accounts within the network. So there's a couple things you're going to want to do. First, you're going to want to create an email account on a platform other than Gmail or Google. Okay, because you're going to need a recovery email for Google, the Google account. Now, as mentioned many times before already, if you're doing this for your own business, or you're doing this for like one network or whatever, you can use your own email address, whatever your main email address is, or one of your main email addresses as the recovery email. That's fine. If you're going to be creating multiple accounts, though, you're going to need to have a system in place, which I'm going to show you how to do right now, to create a recovery email that's unique to each network that you build. Okay, and so that's what we're going to walk through here. But please note, once again, if you're doing this for only your own business, or for or you're only building one or two networks, you can use your own main email account or one of your main email accounts as a recovery email. Okay, just so you know that. All right, but going forward, we're going to be talking as if we're building this as a service for people, or we do this as part of our SEO. If we provide SEO services for people, and this is part of our SEO foundation, which is what I do for my business, and so I'm going to create a unique email address. So we want to create one. I recommend using Outlook Mail, and the reason I say that is because we're going to use a Microsoft property in the network anyways, the IFTTT network anyways, so we're going to want to use, we're going to have an account set up for Outlook and for Microsoft stuff anyways, like OneDrive, Microsoft OneNote is one of the properties that we're going to use. So we're going to need an Outlook account for that anyways. So we might as well have an Outlook account as the recovery email for Gmail, for the Google account or for Gmail. But you can also use webmail. Webmail is an email that you have associated with your domain. It's an email account that you can set up through your host if you have a website. However, some of you are going to be just building these networks for YouTube syndication and not for blog syndication. So you may not have a website and you may not have a hosting account, so therefore you wouldn't be able to use a webmail account. But I just wanted to point out that those are a couple different options. So the first thing we're going to do is go over to Outlook.com. And remember, guys, again, if you're doing this just for your own business or whatever, or you're just building one or two networks, you can get away with just using one of your main email accounts. But in this case, we're going to actually walk through setting up an account. So what I want to do is I want to create a Microsoft account. Create a free Microsoft account. All right, so you see from sign in, click on what's this, and then just go over here to create a free Microsoft account. Now we're going to have to fill in the details. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just go back over to my account workbook template. You see where I have the details here. So I'm going to say Vernon Dunn. And the username, use your favorite email address as your Microsoft account to sign into all Microsoft services, or get a new email address, which is what I want to do. I want to get a new email address. So this will allow us to select from either Outlook or Hotmail. This may change, guys, just so you know. The drop down may change. It may give you other options eventually, but just select one of them. I'm going to select Outlook, and we're going to call this one Vernon E. Dunn. Okay, now guys, the username, email, it really doesn't matter what it is here. I'm just going to name it after the profile's name, the full profile name, because it just makes it easier for me to keep track of. But you can put anything here. If you're doing this for a branded account, you could put the brand name in there if you'd like. So, Joe's, if the company's name is Joe's Plumbing, it could be Joe's Plumbing at Outlook.com or at Hotmail.com or whatever extensions are available here. Just make a note of them. Okay, it says that Vernon E. Dunn at Outlook.com is available. So what I can do is go ahead and copy that and actually go over to my account workbook template or my account workbook, and where it says Outlook right here, I could go ahead and paste that in so that I have a record of it. I like trying to copy and paste stuff as I go so that I don't forget to copy. I don't forget and then forget what the password was or anything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in, and we're going to create a password. Now, for passwords, you can do whatever you want. There is the password from Fake Name Generator. If you scroll down, you'll see that there is a password in here somewhere. It's been a while since I've looked at it. Right here on the online section, you'll see where there's a password right here. So you can just use the password right from there if you'd like. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy that, and I'm going to come over here and paste this into my spreadsheet before I use it anywhere else. That way I make sure that I have it. And then I'm going to come back over to the Microsoft account setup, and I'm going to paste this in. Oh, and it says it must contain at least 2 of the following: uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and symbols. So it's probably not going to be secure enough. So something that you can do is just go over to Google, and this is probably a better option anyways, and say password generator. Also, if you are like me in Chrome, I use a great app called LastPass. That it's an extension right in Chrome that I use for just about everything, and there's a generate secure password button here where you can set all this stuff and just copy a password out of there. For those of you that aren't using LastPass though, you can just go to password generator in Google and type in what it is that you're looking for. Let's say we wanted 10 characters, and we've got each one of those selected, and generate secure password, and here we go. That one's there's one right there. We could generate another one if we wanted. Doesn't matter. Let's just go ahead and copy this one. Alright, so let's go back and paste this in, and paste this in as well, and we'll go back over to the spreadsheet and make sure that we update it over here. Okay, so there we go. There's my password. Alright, so country, region, United States, birthday. We're going to go look at the personal info data. We're going to say 4/27/1967. So this is going to be April 27, 1967. Gender is male. Phone number. Okay, so this is where a phone number is going to come in handy. If you're going to need, if you're going to want to create accounts, like I said in a previous video, I showed a couple different ways that you could do this. You could get a virtual phone number, which a lot of the virtual phone number services are not working like they used to. So it's becoming more difficult to do this. Or you can already buy accounts that are pre-created, which is what I recommend to do. If you're going to be creating a lot of accounts, it's probably better just to go ahead and purchase phone verified accounts. But please reference the video in the before you begin, or the account setup section of the training, which will show you a couple different options for phone verified accounts. In this case, I'm going to use Burner app, which I mentioned to you guys in that video as well. So again, I point you back to that. But if we look at Burner app, this is the Burner it's the app it's the application that I use on my Android phone that I can use for finding or getting virtual phone numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video while I add the phone number from my Burner app in here. Okay, so just stand by for a minute. Okay, so I'm recording via video webcam so that people could see my Burner app working on my phone, as well as now I'm back onto the screencast. And so we're going to go back over to the Microsoft. Where it says alternate email address, I've already got a phone number added from Burner. And where it says alternate email address, I'm going to select, I need to use a temporary email, which they used to have one here. I don't know if they still have that anymore. If not, we can go to Google and do a search for temporary email. This is where a webmail, by the way, comes in really handy, because if you have a webmail account, you can just send it to a webmail account, which is pretty much the preferred way to go. But for those of you that need to use a temporary email account, we're going to use one of these. Okay, so let's say let's look what Airmail looks like. I've not used this one, but let's try it and see. Get temporary email. Come on, hopefully this works. Okay, so where is my email address? Right there. Your email is this one. So I'm going to copy this, and we're going to go back over to Microsoft account. We're going to paste that in. Then we're going to fill out this CAPTCHA, BX6V, looks like XS. Hope that's it. I'm going to unsubscribe from that, and we're going to click Create Account. Okay, it says my captcha was wrong, so let's try again. HXK5V6. Make sure everything else is filled out. It looks like everything else is filled out okay. Create account. Okay, so you'll see that it didn't, because my IP is clean, it didn't even require me to verify via text. Okay, the phone number. I didn't have to verify my mobile number. Now, that's not always going to be the case. Sometimes, if your IP isn't real clean, if you're using a proxy that may have been used too many times recently or something like that, or whatever, sometimes it's going to trigger that phone verification. That's what I've been using Burner app for, guys. That's what this was. I was just setting this up for. Okay, and it seems to work really well still for me. But again, there's other options. If for whatever reason a Burner app number doesn't work, there are other virtual phone number services. You're going to have to find some on your own, do some investigating on your own, or you can just purchase phone verified accounts, which I've recommended some options in a previous video. And you can always just go to Google and search phone verified Outlook accounts, phone verified Gmail accounts, and just look at some different providers that you can purchase phone verified accounts from. But apparently I was able to create this Microsoft Outlook account without phone verification. So therefore, I'm going to go ahead and shut this video down, the webcam video, and keep going with the screencast video. Okay, so that was a bit interesting. I was kind of simultaneous recording on two different on the screencast as well as webcam, so you guys will see how that comes together. I'm curious to how that comes together myself. But you can see that we have, if we go inside of here now, and I want to go to, see, I'm not real familiar with inside of Outlook because I never use it. I only use it to set up my accounts for recovery options. So how do I even get to my email is what I want to know. I guess what I can do is go back over here to Outlook and paste it in. So let's come over here. We're going to copy, go back over, paste it in, and grab the the password. Paste that in, click sign in. Okay, there we go, guys. So now we have an Outlook account that we can use to create our Google account. And again, if we come back over here to the notes, you're going to need an Outlook account prior to setting up a Gmail account anyways, or at least a recovery email. Okay, so and let's just say recovery email, create recovery email. And you'll need this for a couple reasons. One, just to create the Gmail account, you're going to need to have a recovery email. Second, in case something happens that you get locked out of your Gmail account, you're going to want to have a recovery email account. So you can use Outlook or webmail. Again, I recommend going ahead and going through the trouble of setting up an Outlook account because you're going to need that at a later date. So now that we're logged in here, we're good. Just so you know, that temporary email address, if you take a look, if Outlook was going to send an email address for verification purposes, it would send it to here and you would show it up here. This is just a temporary email address that once you close this browser screen, you wouldn't be able to access it anymore. These kind of things come in handy. All I did was go to temporary email in Google. You could use any one of these services. I just grabbed one out of random and used it. And if it was going to send me a email to confirm that I was a real person, it would send it here, and I would just open it up and click the verification link. Apparently I don't need it for this. Once we create the Google account, the Gmail account, we're going to actually cross recovery email, use the Outlook recovery email for Google and use the Google email or the Gmail account as the recovery email for Outlook, so that those two are connected and intertwined. Okay, but for now, we created the Outlook account. So the next thing that we're going to do is go set up the Google account, and we'll do that in the next video.